Very serious.
But you can see people are trying to get through the
incredible
mud. It is so thick here in this area, and it is going to be a long time for the
Valencia, Spain. Climate change weather. UK 24.
An area like this gets back to normal. But as you said, there is also a rescue operation still going on. Troops have been brought in to try and get transport links, roads that have been damaged by bridges, and those rail lines back up and running, so they can get into the areas that have been cut off. This report from my colleague Bethany Bell.
Rescue teams are still searching for missing people. People have been lifted to safety from houses. Other teams have the grim task
158 people have died.
Bodies. Officials here say dozens of people remain unaccounted for, and that it's not possible to assess the full impact of the flooding. Homes, businesses and shops have been destroyed. Volunteers have arrived to help with the clean-up.
Blimey.
The scale of the flooding is huge.
Wow.
Survivors have told us how they felt abandoned by the authorities.
I'm sorry, it's just helplessness, it's impotence. The governments, they don't do anything. Every 4 years or 2 years, I'm starting over again.
We are not thieves. I work as a cleaner at the school for the council, but we have to eat. Look what I picked up. Food for the baby. It's wet, so I don't know if I can use it.
People are struggling. In some places there's no water or electricity and the internet is down. And there's mud everywhere. Bethany Bell, BBC News.
It's not the Israel war into the ground, let alone the Ukraine
as you can see
war.
behind me, there are still cars piled up here, so that it's going to take a time to move those. But you can see down this road, people are walking up.
Massive crisis, guys.
Carrying buckets and spades, and they're carrying brooms. Now, these people don't live in this area. We've been talking to a lot of them today, and they're actually from the city centre, and there is a lot of the churches have got organised to get people and volunteers to come from the city centre, about 7 kilometres that way. You wouldn't even know there had been a flood in some of those places, and they are bringing their buckets and spades, as you can see. Good morning. And they are going to help the people who just down this road have no power, very little water, and of course this mud has inundated their homes. So there is a real community spirit to try and get help, because they were angry yesterday when I was talking to them about the response from the authorities. They think they didn't get warned quickly enough to the fact that the floods were coming, only about 30 minutes at maximum. And secondly, they said they weren't getting enough water, food and aid in, and they haven't had power for a couple of days. So the local community bringing items, good morning, so that they can help. And
what wonderful local
down the street here has opened up, and last night
community
there
church
were hundreds of people bringing food and water and other essentials, things like baby items and toiletries, so that they can give them to the local community. And the city council, who I think probably realised that they were getting some criticism,
serious stuff, this climate change
arranging
stuff,
for
guys.
a chef
No
to
joke.
come along and cook hot food for the people here, because of course they haven't had power for a couple of days, so they're unable to cook hot food. So the rescue operation continuing in those areas that you saw in Bethany's report, which are still cut off, while here in the city, as we've seen, they've brought JCBs and trucks to try and clear up, and the local community at Naga and Charlie coming together to try and help the people who've really been affected by these devastating floods here.
Nikki, thanks so much for taking us through all of that. Nikki Schiller there in the Valencia region. It's 7 minutes past
there you go, guys.
7. Charlie, 2 days on after Rachel Reeves' budget, we get the chance to plough through all the detail and hear how others are reacting to the details that are emerging.
Yeah, everyone's trying to work out how it affects them, aren't they? So we're talking about GPs, care homes and hospices this morning, who are all voicing concerns.
He's squashing on H7.